Hey, River Center family. Gary B here with your weekend devotional. You know, there are things that oftentimes come up in our lives that cause us to reflect and look back and think about, how did we get here? How did we get here? Whether you're 20 or 25 or 35 or 67 like me or even older, you think, how did we get here? How did we get to this place? I mean, it's like time just has gone by so quickly. Many of you know that my wife, Vonnie, she retired. Last Friday was her last day with kids. And then on Monday, she had to go in for a little bit, and Tuesday in for a little bit, and now she's done. 37 years in the classroom. 37 years. How did we get here? I have a son who's going to be 45 years old this year. How did we get here? A daughter who's going to be 43 or 44. How did we get here? Other son who's in his mid-30s. How did we get here? Time just goes really fast. You know, they say when you, it's all downhill from here. I don't believe that. But part of it seems like maybe it might be true because we're on the downhill side, many of us, more years behind us than ahead of us. And it seems like downhill things roll really fast. Like time goes by really fast. How did we get here? And then you think in Ephesians chapter 5 where it says, redeem the time. Make the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. And, you know, we got to think about that because time is something we can't get back. You can make more money. You can sleep more hours. You can, I don't know, you can get more of lots of stuff, but you can't get more time. And I read an illustration a while back. It was a really good story about this man who was on the ham radio, and he had a ham radio program, and he was on there, and a lot of people would find him, breaker, whatever. I don't know if that's ham radio speak, but they would get a hold of him and kind of share their life story and share their problems. And he ended up being kind of an online counselor. And this one guy called in and hooked up on the radio, and he said, man, my life is, I just can't catch a breath. It's with the wife and the kids and the work and on and on and on and on and on. And this older gentleman, he said, well, let me tell you a story, Tom. You know, I was kind of finding myself in that rat race when I was younger, and it just really, it was defeating. I could not get ahead. No matter how hard I pushed, no matter how hard I scrambled, no matter how hard I worked, I couldn't get ahead. And then it dawned on me one day, I only have so much time. I need to be spending it in the right ways. And so for him, that meant spending time with the family that he'd been neglecting for years. And he said, so I decided to do something to help me remember, Tom. I took a big jar and I filled it full of marbles. And I forget what he said, how many thousand marbles it was. But he said, and then on every Saturday, I take out a marble. And I realized the number of marbles was how many Saturdays he figured he would have left before he went to be with Jesus, just based on standard, life expectancy. And then he told this young guy, and so every Saturday I take out a marble. He said, and Tom, today, this Saturday, I took out the last marble. So whatever I have, whatever time I have left, I figure that it's by the grace of God, because I took out the last marble. And I just want to encourage us, there's things that have happened in our lives recently, and things that have affected us and families in our church, and and a lot of them are going to cause us to ponder, how am I using my time? In the book of Psalm, chapter 90, verse 12, it says, teach us to number our days so that we might gain a heart of wisdom. Teach us to number our days, not so that we become more frantic, not so that we become more, driven. Teach us to number our days so that we may gain a heart of wisdom, God's wisdom. And we know that the wisdom from above is first of all pure, and then full of peace, as James tells us. Teach us to number our days that we may gain God's perspective on life. Amen. Hope that resonates with you today. God bless. See you soon.